In my opinion, it's one of the worst crimes imaginable when mothers attack their own children. A child is entirely dependent on their parents, but especially their mothers, who are there in the early stages of life to nurture and nourish their own flesh and blood. So when a mother attacks the very child she's supposed to be protecting, that's simply inexcusable. It's a profound betrayal of that fundamental relationship. We're not even through the first half of 2025, but already there have been a number of high-profile cases in Australia. Just to be clear, I'm not here to excuse fathers who attack their own families. It's just that the media already seem to have a monopoly on that, such as the ABC reporting on the 3rd of June. 1 in 3 Australian men report using intimate partner violence, noting that making an intimate partner feel frightened or anxious in their lifetime counts as intimate partner violence. So, under that definition, if you've made your partner feel anxious even just once, you've committed violence. But back to the topic on hand, women committing violence against their own children. Take, for instance, as reported by the BBC in January, the Australian influencer who is charged with poisoning her own baby girl for money in order to elicit donations and boost her online followers. Also in January, 9 News reported, abhorrent, woman 24 charged with murder after 9-year-old boy found dead with significant head injuries. In February, 7 News reported, woman charged as child 4 allegedly tortured and abused in Logan, with police describing the case as one of the worst alleged physical abuse cases they'd ever seen. In March, not guilty verdict for mother accused of stabbing children on motorway. The 37-year-old was deemed mentally incompetent due to drug abuse. It's concerning to note that drug use was cited as a basis for mental incompetence in this defence. Mother charged after 3 children found with stab wounds in Borkham Hills home. It was actually the father who saved the children from their murderous mother. This one made me incredibly sad, although not specifically a mother, but rather a grandmother. Woman charged with murder of her 2 grandsons in Coonabarabran. She allegedly smothered them to death in May. Also in May, there was the Toowoomba woman who was charged with murder over the house fire that killed 3 of her children. Here's a picture of the accused. However, this morning, 5th of June, I was reading about this case in the Courier Mail, which also touched a nerve. 4-year-old girl in hospital, mum in custody over alleged torture, lighter burn. A 4-year-old girl has been hospitalised after mother allegedly tortured her and burnt her hand with a lighter, with police claiming she was seriously disfigured. Police allege the girl's mother, who is aged in her early 20s, had seriously disfigured the girl's palm with the lighter. The girl has since been removed from her mother's care and is undergoing surgery in hospital. One of the woman's other children had died in her care in February. Although it should be noted that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Legal Service defence lawyer, Nick Hanley, said that his client was not accused of any wrongdoing over that child's death. You know, children just sometimes die in your care. Although the girl had told police that her mother held a lighter to her hands, the mother claimed the girl had simply touched the stove. It was alleged the girl had been malnourished. The girl also allegedly had bruises to her head and all over her body. Police had also described the woman as having an extensive mental health history. Thankfully, the woman was remanded in custody. I think some people are just not suited to be parents. But of course, the biggest news of late regarding filicide, the intentional killing of one's child, is the case of Lauren Ingrid Flanagan, mother charged with murdering her 3-year-old daughter in Moore Park Beach. When police arrived at the scene, they located the child in the front yard, who had sustained multiple stab wounds. Unfortunately, the young girl died at the scene. A knife was seized from the scene, and the woman was arrested and charged with her murder. A few days later, the woman was found unresponsive in her cell and died soon after in a local hospital. Although this is clearly a death in custody, interestingly, the ABC categorised it under courts, whereas, for example, with the death of Aboriginal man Kumanjayi White, they categorised it as black deaths in custody. Here's a bit of free advice for the ABC. Get rid of the word black and just have deaths in custody. What racial game are they trying to play here? Regarding Miss Flanagan, surprisingly, or not, on 4th of June, the Courier Mail reported, "Murder mum needed care, not a cage," says Women's Group. Sisters Inside, a Queensland-based advocacy group for women in custody, said the mother of three's death must be a moment of reckoning. Specifically, they said, it was clear Lauren needed care, support and safety, not a prison cell. It is in all of our interests to build a society that responds to crisis with care, not cages. Lauren was a vulnerable woman in crisis. As we've seen from these recent examples, the intentional violence committed by mothers against their own children is a chilling reality. It's a reality we must confront directly, without obfuscation or attempts to redefine accountability. No matter the circumstances or the narratives presented, our focus must remain squarely on protecting the most vulnerable in our society. The profound betrayal of a parent harming their own child is simply unacceptable.